Hey there, everybody. Hey, how you doing? Happy Hump Day. It is just me today. Carrie is not able to join us today, so I'll see if I can get her on tomorrow or later this week. But while we're waiting on folks to join, don't forget my website is coopedup.com. And I would love a follow if you were on other social channels. I'm Cooped Up is my handle, specifically on Instagram. And wherever you are watching or listening, be sure to click the bell that you get notified that I have come live. And as always, remember that there is a delay. Even though this is live officially, technically it's not. There's like a 20-second delay between the time the words come out of my mouth and you hear them. So if you comment, sometimes I don't know what you're talking about. So you need to make sure that I can get it from the comment. So, hi, Mama. Good to see you. And then, hey, Michelle. Hi. And Aaron is saying, hola. Hola. I changed the graphics. I don't know if you noticed that. Little pop-up buttons. They introduced some new ones. What a day, y'all. What a day here in Texas. You know, days without Texas being a laughing stock. Zero. Man, crazy stuff. I'll get into that in a little bit. Is this week still feel like it's dragging on to y'all? Like nothing really bad has happened in the sense of like arduous meetings or anything like that. I just feel like it has just taken forever to get to the end of the week. And Michelle wants to buy a 20-second delay on what comes out of your mouth. Well, I know the problem with that is sometimes I still say it, and 20 seconds later, y'all haven't started responding, and I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. And then I got 20 seconds of self-doubt in my head, and I don't do that very often. Dragging like crazy, yes. I don't know what it is. And I'm off on Friday and Monday because I close my companies on Fridays before these holidays. But so tomorrow's my Friday, and I'm very excited about that. And the kids will be at school on Friday, and I've already told everyone I am not doing morning duty on Friday. I'm sleeping in, so figure it out. So it is September 1st. First of all, I can't believe that we are less than 4 months from the end of the year, from 2022. I also cannot believe that in 2 months, Christmas decorations will be going up. Yes. I'm very excited about that. This week has gone on for a month. I know. I said something yesterday. I was like, these last 48 hours have been the longest month of my life. And in Texas, a whole bunch of laws went into effect today. Oddly, did y'all see what the number of laws that went into it? So Texas, always the laws go into effect on September 1st. I mean, that typically is when they do. Did y'all see how many went into effect today? It is kind of eerie. 666 laws. 666. Satan's number. Satan! I know. Phyllis got it right. Went into effect today. If that is not an ominous sign, I do not know what is, right? Isn't that crazy? The one getting the most attention is this abortion ban on any abortion of a fetus that is 6 weeks or older. I think it's 6, or maybe it's 7 weeks and older. It can be up to 6 weeks. I don't know. No, it's 6 weeks and older, I think, is or when they do something anyway. And Aaron, I'm going to get to yours in a minute. So that's the one getting the most attention. And I'll get back to that in a minute. Some of the other ones getting a lot of attention are open carry in Texas. So basically you can carry a gun anywhere you want in Texas without a license, without a permit, without any training. Like you have to have more credentials to go fishing in Texas than to just carry your gun around with you everywhere. You have to have more credentials. The guy who teaches tennis on the tennis courts across the street has to have more credentials in Texas than me just wanting to carry a gun around everywhere. So crazy. And then the other one that is getting a lot of attention, and this is one that I do not object to at all. Although I do have a beef with it still. They changed the liquor laws in Texas that on Sundays, before you couldn't buy anything before noon on Sundays, right? And how many of us have gone to the grocery store, especially as you get older and you start doing things earlier in the morning? you go to the grocery store or you're on your way to brunch and you try to pop into the grocery store and they're like, you can't buy that. It's not noon yet. You have like a bottle of wine. It's not noon yet. You can't buy that. And then, I mean, I've timed it before where I've just stood like by the register. I mean, maybe that's a sign of alcoholism also, but just stand by the register waiting for like, and trying to time it, letting people go in front of me, all of that, right? And so they lowered the time to 10 a.m. So now in Texas, you can buy beer and wine, still not hard booze. I don't think you can buy that at all on Sundays. But beer and wine, they lowered it from noon on Sundays to 10, which grocery stores are cheering about. People who are having like football, because I think a lot of NFL games, don't they start at like noon? This is not my topic, but I think they start at noon. And so for people wanting to get some beer before they go to a barbecue or something like that, I've been coughing a lot today, just shit in the air. But my only beef about it is I still don't like that Sunday has different rules than the rest of the week. Like it's still like blue laws. That's what they used to call them. And most of those went away. Remember, stores used to not be able to be open. When we were kids, only certain types of stores were even able to be open on Sundays, right? And but so on Monday through Saturday, you can start buying booze at 7 a.m. in Texas. And I'm not saying everybody needs to go out and be buying booze at 7 a.m. in Texas, but I just don't understand why Sunday has that exception other than religion. And I am a Christian. I pray. I don't go to church very often, but I have my ways. But that sounded like Weezer or Boudreaux. I pray now. But to me, it's just weird that we're still stuck in that kind of weird thing of like, we're kind of pregnant, which isn't even you can't be kind of pregnant, which then ties back to the other thing. So what are y'all saying about the law? So back to that abortion thing, heavy topic to talk about, but most women don't know that they are pregnant at 5 to 6 weeks. Yeah, I agree. You can buy nails, but not a hammer or vice versa. Was that the law, the old blue laws also? That's so crazy. So, and it was upsetting customers at the Central Market. It's 10 instead of 12. Yeah, Matt, you read the same article I did where they were talking about that. And Walmart's ready for it. So as of this Sunday, you can get your booze on at 10 o'clock in the morning in Texas. But back to the abortion thing. So the law is so strangely written. I don't know how much y'all dug into it, but so the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court in action today, they didn't have a ruling. They just chose not to act earlier today was, and the grounds is that they don't have standing in this particular way this law is written. So the people who wrote the law were very, let's just say sneaky, but it's not sneaky. They knew what they were doing. They weren't trying to hide it. It was just like they were very cunning. That doesn't sound like the right word either. Very strategic. Let's put it that way. Strategic in the way that they wrote it, where the law, so 6 weeks or older, no abortions, right? It has no exclusions for rape or incest, which I do have a major issue with that. And the incest one in particular, because the rape, technically, you might not know you're pregnant, but you know you were raped, and 6 weeks to get that, like, you have a fair shot in most cases, unless you're hiding it, which is totally possible. I could be saying a whole bunch of wrong shit here. Just know my intentions are pure. But the incest one, that one, like, I'm like, no, that's because that is something that is hidden usually, and no one knows until a baby starts showing up, right? I mean, Mama Oprah right there, she was pregnant at like age 12 from one of her uncles molesting her. So, but what was I going to say about that? So the law is written very oddly. It is written where, so you can't have one, but the state officials are barred from enforcing it. That's the language. It bars state officials from enforcing the law. And instead, it deputizes private citizens to bring suits against the providers. Not even the women who get abortions, they can't be held liable or whatever. It's the providers. It's anyone who aids and abets, meaning like the Uber driver. If the Uber driver drops someone off, not even knowing whether or not they were taking someone to a place to do that, and someone who didn't like that sees that guy or girl, whoever the driver is, they can sue them. They can get $10,000, I think, and have all of their legal bills covered. And so basically, it's just making everyone be like, nope, I'm not risking it. I'm staying away from it. And that's why the Supreme Court didn't step in, because there's no action on behalf of the state. Like state officials aren't doing this. It is private citizens suing other private citizens, which is totally fucked up. But a conversation with a social worker makes, I know, it's just crazy. So I'm going to need those 2 extra hours of booze to get over all those other laws. Hannah is saying, I agree. Monica is saying, I could get my booze now, but some jerk face plowed over our full trash can at the gate. Trash everywhere. Can't get across the road. Now I'm missing the lid. Hope it did damage. Oh, that sucks. You know who we would blame on before, right? But he's dead. How long has he been dead? Arlie, like 7 years? Anyway, can't blame him anymore. The silver lining to all of this, though, right? So now babies will be found in dumpsters. Let it be there. I know. That is the insane thing, is that it's not making it safer. No one is pro-abortion, by the way. It does not exist. No one is like, yes, let's get everyone abortions. For you. No, it's about the choice part of it, right? And it clearly goes after yes, it does clearly go after Planned Parenthood. And people can still cross the border. The people I feel bad for are the people who live too far away from a Texas border. So, like for us, I mean, it's a ways, but I can be out of Texas in 90 minutes from my house, right? If I aim the right direction, maybe 2 hours. If you live in West Texas, you can go into New Mexico. It's still maybe many hours of driving. But like if you're from McAllen, where I'm from, I mean, you may go to Mexico, I guess, right? Is it legal in Mexico? I don't know. I assume it is. Because otherwise, that's like a 10-hour drive to get out of the state. The silver lining, though, I'm always looking for silver linings. This is something I'm known for. Pollyanna, maybe. The silver lining is that our state government, the legislature, only meets once every 2 years, and they're only allowed to meet for a certain amount of time unless they call these little special sessions. And the special sessions have to be dedicated to very specific issues. And I think we're ending a special session like right now, like this weekend. But, and so that gives us 2 years to unwind things, to challenge them in court, to do all that. And it does not give the lawmakers the opportunity to tweak the laws then as they start getting legal challenges. That is the silver lining in my mind. So the state representative who authored the law is Catholic, but has had 4 wives. Yeah, there's a lot of hypocrisy. And I guarantee you, half of these, if you look in that room full of white men, basically, rich white men, who, if any of their daughters got in a certain way, I guarantee you, many of them would take care of business. I bet they would. So there's going to be a lot of dirty dancing. I know. Abortions. Not dirty dancing abortions. Let me finish that. That's what Monica said. So anyway, but man, people losing their minds over it. Rightfully so. Okay. Let's go to a different topic now. So it's not that much more uplifting, honestly, but it's fascinating to me. So I don't know if y'all remember, me, Todd, the kids, joined Monica, Mike, and my nephew Sterling over spring break. We went to this place called Grand Isle, Louisiana. It's the only inhabited barrier island left in Louisiana. Takes forever to get there. The roads are like driving on staircases. It's like, so it's not particularly pretty. It was just an interesting thing to do. It was very natural. A lot of fishing, a lot of hanging out. It was fun though. We had a good time, but it was just like this dumpy fishing town. Well, that is Ida. Ida done fucked them up. Ida is that is where the storm hit them like dead on. And CNN had, if you go to CNN.com right now, actually one of their lead stories is like some video of that island. So the island is completely uninhabitable now. They've basically like declared it uninhabitable. 100% of the structures on the island have been damaged. 100%. 40% of them have been damaged so much that they're just wiped out. Like they may have some pylons left or like a random fireplace or a wall or something. And the entire island is covered in 3 feet of sand. That's like not my waist, but my inseam is 36 inches. So that much sand is covering the island. And they think if they decide to recover the island, I think that they will, because there's like offshore, what were those plants and stuff? There were some offshore like refineries and stuff on the island, and that's a lot of money to give up. So I bet they do take care of that. But they think it's like 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years for them to just kind of get back to normal. Fishing town, cute in its own way. Yeah, I mean it was just very to call it rustic is even a charming word. It was just kind of like a fishing town, but it was fun. So, and back to what we were talking about before, people with money will always be able to get the abortions, and they will. Eric said, I agree. This is how you keep people poor. Yep. So, but they had the funniest store, back to Grand Isle. They had this store. It was like a grocery store, but it had everything. It had a paint section. It had a home decor, like tools and stuff. It had beer. It had wine. There was nothing like, if you could not buy it at that store, it is something that there would be no occasion that you would ever need it. It was the thing. And then Monica's asking, what was the cool latitude, longitude thing we saw? So it's a longitude. It is on longitude. What was the number? I don't remember. For some reason, 26 is coming to mind. That's my lucky number. And for some reason, that I'm feeling like that's the number. But the same line goes through New Orleans to Grand Isle, all the way down to, I think it was the Galapagos Islands, maybe. And I think that if you take it all the way around, it like goes through like maybe like the Vatican City or something. There was some like line that they were on that they celebrated that goes through a ton of like really cool things. My God, a geography lesson. I know. Monica told me last night, this reminds me, Monica told me last night that I need to start drinking on the show again. That's getting a little boring. We're talking about readers, hurricanes, politics. She liked it better when we talked about poop and talked shit about people. I don't know. I guess I go in cycles. I don't know. It was an Ace Hardware Plus. Yes. It was like, yes, that's what it was. Anyway. I have a question, totally different topic. I'm not even going to pretend to do casual segs here. Is Labor Day considered, in your mind, a patriotic holiday? Yes or no? And the reason I ask, and I'm asking at the beginning so there's time for you all to answer the question, and I wish I could do surveys on here. I need to tell them I think they should. So I have bunting. I have the patriotic red, white, and blue bunting that I put on the house. I put it on for Memorial Day because that definitely is a patriotic holiday. I put it on for 4th of July, the front of the house. And like in our neighborhood, the main street, Sylvan Avenue, I do believe, so they line that with flags. Some person does it. I don't know who. Lines it with flags on all of the patriotic holidays. And but I know that they do it. I'm pretty sure they do it for Labor Day also. It is celebration of the American worker because it is a uniquely American. Other countries have Labor Days, but it's not the same weekend as us. So do Phyllis says yes, mainly because people put flags out. But everybody else is saying no, 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 no. Okay. So the overall consensus is no, but I would probably look like regular people if I decorated that, if I just put the bunting out on the front of the porch. I do love putting the bunting out. And most of the holidays it's not like Christmas decorations where I can put them out and leave them out for 2 months and just enjoy them for 2 months. Our house just lends itself so well to that sort of stuff. But to only be able to do it for like a long weekend, and it doesn't take very long. Aaron is saying, I refuse to do self-checkout on Labor Day. I aim straight for self-checkouts. So no day, put the bunting out. Yes, I know. I think I'm probably going to do it. My mom said she just texted me. She just got cut off. She has been getting all kinds of weirdness. Just cut her off from Cooped Up. That's so weird. And my dad is saying no rest for the working people. I know. And I mean, unless you have like a cushy job, you don't get the day off, right? So I'm gonna put the bunting out just because I like it. My house looks good with it. It's fun to do. Oh, Mom's back on now. There she is. Likewise, and Monica got cut off 3 times. Oh, I wonder what's happening. That's not good. Y'all shopping any good? Have y'all seen any good Labor Day sales? I'm getting Labor Day sales from the things that I typically buy. Like I know Kiehl's has one starting tomorrow, 25% off. Martha Stewart CBD, I got one for the Shop Canopy. I think that's their website. Got an ad that they are having a big sale. There's some other things that I already do, like Lands' End is having 40% off, I think. Stuff like that. But I'm curious, I got one for Lowe's also. But like, what are y'all buying? What are y'all shopping for? What's a good thing to buy at Labor Day? I mean, like I need to shop like I need a vagina, but I don't know how to follow that up. Oh, so anyway, so what do y'all buy? I do need a new refrigerator at my office. So, Carrie is just getting home. If I want her to join for a second, let's invite Carrie in. Let's see what because I want her to tell y'all about something. Y'all just hang on for a minute. I'm sending Carrie the link to be getting on because I need her to tell y'all about something that we meant to talk about last week and we forgot. Monica's shopping for groceries for Labor Day. A lot of people are shopping for COVID tests. You can't get those anywhere right now. Like even like the CVS's and stuff. The only CVS's that I've been able to see are in the bad parts of town here in Dallas, and I think they're even selling out. Have you reviewed Liquid IV? It's kind of a Pedialyte, but tastes better. I have used it. I am a fan. I also am a fan of Pedialyte, though. And Sam's has they're great for pre-gaming and hangovers. Yes. I also drink so much water on a regular basis that I am pretty much at maximum hydration at all times. But Monica's saying Sam's has them. Yeah, I saw on I followed this woman on TikTok, and it's like the best things to get at Costco this week. And Liquid IV was on them, and I assume Sam's has it too. Carrie where is she? I want you to talk about Van Gogh. Yes, Carrie's going to come on and talk about Van Gogh, and it will make sense when she is on. Sam's has the COVID test. So I looked at the Sam's. So I went online and I did like at the Sam's Club, and none of the Sam's showed any availability for those here, Monica. So I don't know if they're holding some back or if they're not showing them online. But those Binax Now ones from Abbott Laboratories, that's when a lot of people are getting, because COVID's going all over the place. I think wasn't this the highest week for Texas public schools like since ever? I think so. What What else am I going to do for? I still need to figure out what I'm going to make on my other thing. Come on, Carrie. She's texting me back right now. Booting up right now. Okay, so she should be on any second. And then I would just let her in the door. I had a conference. So I'm on the SMU alumni board, a new member, and I had to have a conference meeting or a committee meeting today, and it was on Zoom. And one of the interesting things on there is there's a guy that was on there who I had such hots for in college. Super fine. And he was in this meeting with me, and I'm kind of like, oh, okay. So bitch does not look like and he's gay also, by the way, does not look like he has aged a day since college. Like, not a day. Granted, he already kind of looked like a 40-year-old person in college, but it looked good. And I was just like, I'm not going to do anything with any of that, but I was still kind of like, oh, it's Raul. He's so cute. Yes. What are we going to be for Halloween? Put that on a future topic list. Need to think about that. I don't know that we did anything last year. 2 years ago, we did #GoneTooSoon, which was all dead celebrities, singers. Todd was George Michael. I was Elvis, the Vegas years. Mason was Michael Jackson, and Claire was Selena. That was probably the fan favorite. I don't know. Oh, I just remembered. Eric and I on the 21st, I think, are going to see the Golden Girls at the movie theater. And I checked, and there are tons of seats left, and it's only like $15 a person. And so Todd and I and Eric are going to it at the one at the AMC at North Park Center. So if y'all want to join us, it will be a lot of fun, I think. They're going to show like 5 episodes of the Golden Girls, just 5 of the favorites for the first time on the big screen. It'll be fun. Hey, Carrie. Oh, I see your hand. There you are.
Sorry,
She's here.
I was turning my phone up.
Yes. So, hey.
Hello.
Hey, good. You get everything poked and prodded and everything okay?
Yes. I did my appointments backwards. I had an OB appointment and then fruit fly. Then I had to get waxed. Not that everybody wants to know about hoo-ha today, but there's your update. And then tomorrow I get my booster vaccination, so I'll be waxed, vaxxed, and ready for action. What can I say, people? The jokes write themselves.
So I want you to talk about something in particular.
Okay.
Everyone's like, Carrie's here. Everyone, Carrie's
here. Y'all are cute.
That was pretty. I want you to talk about your Van Gogh experience. So as a backup, so prepare your words in your mind.
Yes.
As a point of reference to people who may not know this or may not be from here, there are currently 7 immersive Van Gogh exhibits touring the United States right now. And there are like 4 of them, I think, in the state of Texas. And at this very moment, there are 2 of them in the Dallas area. And their names are like, one is Immersive Van Gogh, one is Van Gogh the Immersive Experience, one is like Get Immersive with Van Gogh. Like they're all basically the same name, right? And they all do this thing where you walk into this room and they project with music and stuff, and then you sit there and watch it or whatever. And some of them have little tweaks on it. Some of them are in cool buildings. Some of them are very much not, and that kind of thing. And people are getting confused as hell about which one they bought. They're getting confused, and it's not cheap either. It's like $50 a ticket, right? $60 a ticket, something like that. They're sold out way in advance, and people are getting pissed, and they're getting confused about which one they're going to, and if they got the right one. And it does seem that there is one that is emerging as the more right one.
Yes. Of
them all. So, Carrie, you went last weekend, I guess or maybe 2 weeks ago. You went to one of them. You had tickets. You bought tickets back in like February, right?
February. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about it.
I did not get the right one. This is the biggest bait and switch art-related marketing scandal I have seen ever.
And why is everyone so into Van Gogh all of a sudden? Did the rights to it expire and suddenly there's like no copyrights or something?
No, it's just that, there's many works that people don't get to see unless they travel overseas.
Yeah.
So Well, first, let me just tell you about the exhibit. Be very cautious where you're going. I didn't realize there were 7. I knew there were 3, but yeah, it makes sense to me. I bought back in February where they were, advertising the hell out of it on Instagram, not telling you the location yet, right?
Yep.
And I had seen the ones where it looks like you're in this big open space, like they take over like an old church or something.
Something that is maybe architecturally significant or at least interesting or quirky at the very least.
Yes. So we bought back in February for August. So we went, what was it, last weekend, August?
Yeah.
No, it was the 20th.
It was 2 Saturdays ago.
Yeah. So ours ended up being the one in Arlington.
So which they didn't even announce until like middle of July. And so you went to the one called Van Gogh, the Immersive Experience.
I think sold by Fever.
And their tickets went on sale first.
Yes.
Knowing full well that I think it's a scam. Knowing full well people would not realize there were a bunch of them and be like, no, we're gonna get it, and then they sold out first. That's what you did, yeah.
Yeah.
And they announced in July that it went, and in the meantime, the other one announced that it was coming and announced it's in downtown Dallas. It's in an old like Masonic lodge or something that's been renovated. It's got really cool architecture, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so the other one in Arlington is at the old bar park, partially in a tent, right?
No, not even a tent. I thought it was going to be a tent. I thought it was going to be this grandiose Cirque du Soleil situation.
Yeah.
No, let me tell you what happened. So first of all, we got to drive to Arlington already. You can't get drunk. You can't drive there. We were going to like have some drinks and be like, woo, to see the cool virtual stuff. We get there. There's a shit ton of traffic. And we left with an hour, to spare.
Probably because was there a football game and a baseball game and a.
Yeah, it's great. We get there and I'm like, what the heck? And then I'm not that familiar with that area because I've been to like one Cowboys game. I've been to one baseball game.
Same.
I don't go over there. I went to the Beyonce thing for a concert.
Yeah.
Or the
AT&T Stadium. Yeah.
Yeah. So we get over there, and right as soon as we're coming up to the corner of the ballpark, because here's the deal: they call it Globe Life Field and Globe Life Park. So Globe Life Field is the new field. Park is the old ballpark, and they're calling it Globe Life Park because it's going to be whatever. Which it just got bought out, didn't it, by the Choctaw? I think they just bought the name.
Yes.
Well, the new one. The new one just got bought out.
Yeah.
So anyway, we pull up and I see parking right at the apex, and I go, girls, we should probably park there. It was $45. Okay. So we paid $50 a piece to go see this thing. Parking, and I thought, well, the parking is really close. Maybe we shouldn't. So as soon as I eked past it, I was like, we should have parked there.
Yeah.
It took us an hour to go 4 stoplights around the stadium to get back to that, because everywhere else, if you don't know, when you start to veer off, and we were not hoofing it in 97-degree heat in dresses to this damn, because as we came back around, we thought, okay, if we can't get a spot right here, we're gonna be like, screw it, we're just gonna go back to Dallas,
get drunk,
dinner,
go to
up the cost, right?
Yeah.
I came back. We were able to park in that lot I found, which was cool.
$45.
$45 to park. We took the little bridge right across. So we're seeing people walking to the venue.
And you're kind of dressed up because it's artistic.
They've got on cowboy boots and fringe. Oh my God, I've never seen so many. And hats. I've never seen so many influencers. I'm like, this is a lot of fanfare for the Dallas Cowboys pregame. So there was a Dallas Cowboys pregame. No. It was the Chris Stapleton and Willie Nelson concert also.
Oh my goodness.
It was a clusterfuck. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how awful it was. And
the $45
15 minutes late, and they didn't even mind. So we get in there.
The $45 of parking just pisses me off already.
Oh, I was livid.
And that you can't even go out to eat or anything beforehand, because Arlington is like the home of Chili's and Hooters. Like,
yeah, we were like, we're not eating here. We're gonna eat when we get back.
Yeah.
So we get there. There's a little door on the side of the old Globe Life Park you go into. I think basically what this would have been the equivalent of, we had to hike up 2 flights of stairs. By the way, here's the
it's like going to the club level.
So we went to the club level, and they had converted one of the club level rooms into this museum. It is basically black pipe and draping, and they created a few hallways. They had one room where you went into, and it's where they had a 3-dimensional pot, and it was a projector. They were just projecting, and we sat there and we we're like, all right. The one room that everybody wants to see that you go into was built up on stairs, and you move the curtains back, and it was just, you saw the photos. It was one long rectangle room, white wall wash that they were washing with all of the visuals, right? And they
Like
had
Starry Night
yeah, they had
or
some benches, and they had a
Sunflowers.
thing in the middle, similar to when you go to the Vatican and you go see the
Uh-huh. Sistine
you know,
Chapel.
yeah, you know how there's a bench thing around the edge. Well, this had
Uh-huh.
a triangle bench thing in the middle, so you could sit and like look up. Well, tons of people sitting on it. There were bean bags along the floor. We had to wait. We had to go back out and wait 15 minutes for some people to leave, because that's really the only thing to see. They basically took prints of his old, whatever his works, the flowers and Starry Night and all that, printed it to canvas and hung them on the wall. I shit you not. That's what it is. And the room that we were in to watch all the whatever was probably 25 by 60. It was like sitting in a trailer watching it.
Oh my gosh. And they have like new agey music going, and they're sort of animated, right? Like the Starry Night's kind of doing this and the flowers are doing that.
Sorta. It's just sort of stop animation a little bit. And
Really?
it's not even that. And then they have weird things like where they create columns and scenes, and then they bring Van Gogh's face in, and it's just
sounds like a total scam. That sounds totally like they're ripping off the other people, which the other one is the original, I think. Immersive Van Gogh, the one at the lighthouse.
It has the location at the bottom now, because they've revealed their location too. So now I see it on Instagram. It says downtown Dallas or whatever street you can.
If you go to their social, people are livid, and they're like, "That's not us. That's not us."
They sent me an email asking me about my experience. I told them exactly how I felt. I've got it's the fever, FEVR. Not only this, pain in the ass. To get your tickets, you had to download their app, and then you had tickets to my friends. Well, only one of them got them. The other one remained on mine. Thank goodness I didn't. And I had downloaded the app and all that and couldn't get logged in. And then I went and found an email where they just had the QR code on the email anyway. It was a cluster. I mean, not worth it.
And expensive and boring and all of that. But then I've heard other people who've done the one in downtown Dallas who have said they've not ragged on it. I've heard people say that it is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it is still kind of a gimmick.
It is.
But at least the one downtown is not impossible to get to. There's plenty of restaurants close by. You can park wherever. Farmers market, all that kind of. It's right by the farmers market. What? You could Uber. Yeah, exactly. I think that one, Jody, have you been yet? Jody is saying I got the right one. Go me. Have you been yet, Jody? Because my understanding is that room has like different levels. Like it's like a 2-story. Like you can walk up some stairs and look out. And it's in that old Masonic lodge, which has got like cool architecture. And they kind of play off of that too. Like there's some arches and stuff that they will tuck certain graphics into. And
no, this was flat walls, including the fire exit was in it. So the fire exit sign had to be glowing from the corner. Like, and there were just people laying around in this room that had like carpet down, some area rugs, some bean bags. I'm like, who's been on these bean bags? Like, no, y'all, that's a
scam. Well, I think that they are. I think that they are taking advantage of the popularity of the other one, and then trying to get ahead. I mean, it's actually a very smart strategy. If you're going to scam people, play off of the other's popularity and get ahead of it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think in New York, they had two or three of them going at the same time. And it was a similar thing. There was one that people actually liked and the other ones that they did not. So.
Yeah, it was, we were like, I went with my 2 friends from art school. So we were like, oh, let's go. Cause we went to art school together, you know, and they kind of arranged it and had pinged me about it. And I was like, sure, I'll go, you know, and.
I'm throwing in the comments a link to
the right one,
to the good one.
Hannah, communal beanbags has to be the most disturbing thing to me, right?
I know.
Also, in this time of COVID, and masks were not required, by the way.
Because it's in Arlington.
There was nobody wearing them. All the people walking to the concert didn't see a single mask. And I'm like, wow, all of you are shoving into the AT&T or whatever Globe Life stadium. I'm like, great.
And I'm sorry, I do not consider that an outdoor space. Just because the roof opens, that is not an outdoor space.
No, and they had the roof closed because it was blazing hot.
That's true. That's why they have the roof, so they can air condition it.
Yeah. Buyer beware. I've not gotten a response back to them. I basically sent them a note saying what a cluster it was.
Jody is saying all the rooms are showing. This is the one, the one in Dallas. All the rooms are showing the same show. If you can go grab a drink and go to the large second room, that's where they have a second floor that you can also climb up to.
Interesting.
I'm kind of paraphrasing what he wrote, but yeah. That is, just, I cannot believe it. And that's expensive. So y'all spent, if it was $50 a ticket for 4 of y'all, plus that was $200. That was a $250
$200. Yeah, $200. Yeah.
Well, plus your parking then too. Like,
well, $50 piece, so $150 plus.
Oh, it was 3 of y'all. I thought it was 4 of y'all. Okay.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, and it was.
Jody loved it. They watched the show twice. You can stay as long as you want.
Oh yeah, ours was on a 30-minute loop. We did not. We tried to sit. We sat there for about 20 minutes, but I was like, all right. And then when you left that, they led you down a hallway to the exit, and then it was like, oh, for $5 extra, do you want to do our VR experience? I'm like, no, fuck you, I'm out. And then they had a little museum, like, where you can buy crap, buttons, posters, bags. We're out of here. Yeah.
They should have done that. They should have had that on the front end also. If they were smarter, they would have had all of that on the front end so that you weren't pissed off on the back end.
I don't know. But they were like, $5 extra. I'm glad they offered it when you first bought the ticket, VIP, and it was more than the $5 when you first bought the ticket.
Really?
And I thought, what else is the VIP?
One of them has like a bedroom or something also that's kind of set up like a painting, but like in 3D. I saw.
Oh, that one, yeah. That was ours. Yeah. They had little things on the floor about where you should stand to take a photo, and it's like, and it's supposed to, like, when you move, it was supposed to change, but.
Oh, like based on perspective.
Yeah. So there was basically, it was all about perspective. So there's basically one room with his stuff hanging on the wall, and the room where you could sit, and the 3D pot made it look like things were happening to the pot. Then you went around the corner, and there was the bedroom, a piece of sculpture art that was sliced in pieces so that when you moved around to it, you saw the whole thing, and then you saw it was in pieces. And like one other thing that was not even interesting. Now, we didn't even read the stuff on the wall. Now, if you're a huge Van Gogh fan and you want to go to read all that, but we were like, we're like, just get us to the room where the visuals are. We didn't even stand and read the crap on the wall because we're like.
And then DMA, Dallas Museum of Art, is actually bringing a Van Gogh exhibit.
Spend your money there.
In a couple of months. I think it starts either next month or whatever. Although I've already heard weird things about that exhibit too, because it's not his most famous works that they're
probably not. No, because
it is all it's all this like from this olive branch collection or period or whatever. Yeah. And it's the first time all of the pieces from that period have existed in the same place at the same time. Yeah. Right. And that's the kind of claim to fame for it. But it's a lot of olive branches and stuff. So it's not the Starry Night. It's not the sunflowers. It's not the things that it's not the stuff that you're going to go to Hallmark and see it on a card and be like, oh, that's a Van Gogh thing.
Honestly, if you're in New York City, go to the MoMA. You're going to see more there than you're going to see else. Have I ever told you my happenstance museum story? When I travel? So every time I travel, I go to local museums wherever I go. When I went to Paris, and went to Musée d'Orsay to see his exhibit. I went in because they have one of the largest amounts, and that's the smaller museum in Paris. I went there, and it's like, this exhibition is currently traveling, and it's at the Modern in Fort Worth. I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Cut to a couple years later, I went to Chicago for the first time. I went to the Art Institute of Chicago, right? And I went to go see the Picassos there because they have a decent selection of Picasso. This exhibit is currently traveling, and it's on its way to the Dallas Museum of Art. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, that crap has happened to me everywhere I go.
Can I admit something embarrassing to you?
Yes.
So I moved to Dallas in 1993, August of 1993. And until 2 summers ago, so the summer before COVID happened, I had never been to a single museum in Fort Worth.
In Fort Worth? I thought you were going to say you've never been to the DMA.
No, I've been to the DMA. I used to actually have a DMA membership just for the parking.
Yeah.
like to go to other things.
Yep.
And so we did that. Well, I've been there many times. But I'd never, and I still have never, I've only been to the Modern in Fort Worth. And I've not been to the Amon Carter one. I've not been to any of those others. So
I've been to the Modern. I went to the Amon Carter to actually go see the which family was it? The Bass family.
Yeah.
When they had their collection, that was
Yeah.
amazing. And the Modern I've been to several times. Oh, a funny story about the Modern. When first time I went to New York City, I was standing in Madison Square Garden, like right by the garden. There's actually a little park, Madison Square Park, right by the garden.
Yeah.
And they had the most beautiful chrome trees. If you've been to the Modern, you've seen them.
Yes.
Went up by Roxy Payne, went up, and then the branches all collected at the top. I was like, this is the coolest sculpture ever. Cut to a couple of years ago, the Modern bought that from Roxy Payne, and it's permanent. And you've probably seen it in their back yard back there.
How funny.
That's a Roxy Payne chrome sculpture. But and then what's the other one? I've been to the other museum too, the third. There's the Modern, the Amon Carter. And, I've been to those, all three. But I need to go back. I mean,
Monica's saying, but he's been to Clyde Barrow's burials. I know. That's Clyde Barrow is buried like I could walk from my house like without getting winded.
Barrow?
Like Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I thought they were down here in the one by me.
No. She's I don't know where she is,
I think
but
she is.
He is buried literally like probably 400 feet that direction. You just have to go over a highway to get to it.
Yeah, Bonnie, I think, is down here in that old cemetery in Uptown. It'll never be torn down, but don't you know that's a high price ticket? They can never take that cemetery out. But right there in the middle of Uptown. The Kimball, yes, the Kimball's great also. Best museum you've ever been to?
Who?
You.
The best I've ever been to is, I love all the New York ones, like the MoMA and all of that. I love the Guggenheim in New York, the spiral one, because I love the space also. I like that. So when we were there a couple of years ago, they had a Giacometti. It was their main thing. Because the thing about the Guggenheim is that they have basically one artist in the main gallery, and they may have others in some of the other ones. And they have this crazy, so Giacometti, who does all of the iron sculptures and stuff, which the Nasher is fantastic.
Yeah, it looks like he went like this on all of them.
Yeah. Also, by the way, the Peggy Guggenheim Museum in Venice is fantastic as well. Been there. And they have a Nasher sculpture garden at the Peggy Guggenheim. So it's like the best of everything. But, so we were, what was I going to say? So when we're at the Guggenheim, though, there was this one exhibit, and it was like Japanese animation or something. And it was basically subtitled. And it was this short film that was basically about this man who put his father in a nursing home, and the father ended up starting to make dildos in the nursing home that he was selling. And the dad ended up dying because of being overly stimulated by one of the, and then they went through his room and found it. And then like there was this whole storyline, and it was fascinating, but everyone was watching this thing giggling like because it was all subtitled.
He's got dildos hidden like people got shanks in prison. They're like, what?
I know. It was this. Michelle likes the Louvre. I did that at a dead run.
Okay, I was gonna say I did that at a dead run too, and I still don't think I would pick as my. I had 4 hours to do it. I got the pamphlet out, circled all the stuff I wanted to see that I'd studied in art history, right? And it was great, but I will say the one thing that got me at the Louvre was when I finally turned around in the Great Hall and saw the Wing of Victory, the Nike of Samothrace, how huge she was, and the sculpture at the end and on the stairs. That took my breath away.
Really?
And that made it worth it. I mean, the Louvre was the Louvre. It was great, but I had to do it. And I went to just the areas, saw the Mona Lisa, which we've discussed this before. It's like this big. Yeah. The room is full of stinky tourists. Stinky.
Like stacked like COVID deep.
Yeah. and it says no pictures, and then all the Asian tourists have all their cameras, all their technology cameras out. They're taking pictures and videos of it. It's so hilarious. But no, I love the Louvre, but I can't say it's my favorite. I mean, I really love the MoMA. Anytime you go to New York, I still think it's the case, but on Thursday evenings, the MoMA is free.
Oh, really?
And there'll be a line, so go right. I think it's like from 5 to 9, it's free, or 4 to 8, something like that. Look on their website. I love the MoMA, but it's just been some little bitty museums I have found. Like when we were in DC, we went to the oh crap, it's going to escape me now. It's right off Pennsylvania Avenue by the White House. It's a small little, starts with an R. But they had the Burning Man exhibit, and that was fascinating. Yeah.
Of like old things that people did there and all of that kind of
And
stuff.
tells you all about Burning Man.
I have one other question for you before you go, because I wanted to ask you this question. It's not art related. We're going to change subjects real quick, y'all. We're getting towards the end anyway. But a post I saw in my memories yesterday on Facebook reminded me of this. Yes or no? Or the book The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein, is that a good book or a bad book to you? Like,
I can't
you know
say
it?
I've read it.
Okay.
I've heard about it, but I've never read it.
Okay, well then maybe this topic is for another day. I think it is the most terrible book written ever. It is terrible. It is basically a book about, like, if you put it in the concept of like the tree being a parent, that it's all about like letting your kid destroy you, having no identity, and then you die at the end. So
you die at the end. Selfishness, Aaron says.
It is. It's about, and it's about parents not raising dick kids who kill you in the end is what it's about. Like, so.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but it's not been on my.
Well, a lot of people who have children are like, oh, it's the greatest book. Oh, I love reading it. Oh, it's so wonderful. Oh, it's so touching. Oh, it's so. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, did I get the wrong edition? Like, is there a part
the
2?
Old Testament?
I know. Am I reading the wrong? Was it the Given Tree and not the Given Tree? Like, I don't, what's going on here? So, alrighty.
Real quick, back to the art topic. You and I obviously have to choose the Vatican. That's probably the most amazing. The Sistine Chapel. The Sistine Chapel in the Vatican.
The Vatican is
unparalleled.
It is, yes, but it is so much revisionism in there.
Yes.
And it is the single gayest place I've ever been in my life. I've never seen so much dick in my life.
Gold, guilt, and dick.
And with that, I'm getting texted from Todd. He needs me to stop because he needs to print something. And I've got the door locked.
Yes,
so.
print. Well, sorry I was late, but thanks for letting me stop.
That's all right. That's all right. Alrighty. Oh, Amy Wells Forrester. Hey, Amy. The second graders do that play every year at my school. The other teachers love it, and I would cry. That book kills me. Yeah, The Giving Tree. It's the worst. So, alrighty. I'm going to say bye. Thank you, Carrie.
Bye, everybody.
Love y'all. It's important that you're loved. And I will see y'all tomorrow for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say? Bye.
Have a good weekend.